Speaking of another player, we're actually going to skip the second topic and go to the third, and we'll make the third the second. So I think it falls in line with a little bit of what we're talking about. Taking care of your body, longevity, superstars, where they will be, what they will accomplish. The guy that I'm thinking of right now, he has a situation right now where it doesn't look like he's going to return this season. And I'm talking about Zion Williamson, who is not expected to return this season for New Orleans. Let me ask you guys, what is his future with the New Orleans Pelicans? Zay, I'll let you begin.
I think Zion, he understands that he has to build off his brand, and is not really going to build the way he wants to build it in New Orleans. It was a great place for him to become the first number one draft pick, blah blah blah, savior, all that good stuff. But you think of the moves that they made with him in mind, it's just not going to work out. So I can see him leaving for a big market team, honestly.
And that's the rough part, because you heard whispers during the draft that his number one destination that he wanted was New York. He wanted New York to be able to have the lottery balls go their favor and they get the number one pick, and they could grab Zion. Zion in New York. I mean, that's Broadway. You know what I mean? That's a hit show right there. But the fact that he is in New Orleans. Again, first season, I think he played the second half of the year, had a really good, he almost won Rookie of the Year. If you remember him and Ja, his rookie season, he almost won Rookie of the Year, only playing like 30 games.
Yeah.
Second season, he averaged 30 points a game. Third season, he's been out. He's been injured. But if you really look at that New Orleans Pelicans team, they got some pieces, man. Like, they are a legitimate good team. They really do. With B.I., Ingram, they got McCollum. Valanciunas, who I always talk about him when we bring that team up, a guy that I really like. You add Zion to that mix, who is, he's clearly the superstar of that mix. That's more than just a playoff team if everyone's healthy, if everyone's there. But the fact that Zion hasn't been there this season, he's kind of in that Embiid situation to me. Like, if I'm New Orleans, you're not looking to trade him, you're not looking to maybe not re-sign him. You're not looking to do any of those crazy things. I think you stay the course, same way the Philadelphia 76ers stayed the course with Joel Embiid, because early in his career, he missed about the same time that Zion did. And now you look up, and now he's an MVP favorite, in year 5, year 6, whatever it is. So you got to stay with these guys. But in terms of Zion and his mind, I just don't know if it's going to work out in New Orleans. I don't know if he's going to stay in New Orleans. I don't know if it's time to re-up, get paid again. I don't know. You guys know the NBA right now. I don't know if he's a guy that's going to say, you know what, I'm going to request that you guys trade me. Like you've seen a lot of other guys do. You've seen Paul George do it. Paul George did it in Indiana. Then he did it in OKC. He didn't re-sign at OKC, but he did it in Indiana. There's a bunch of other guys that did it. Kawhi Leonard did it, and Kawhi did it with the Spurs, which no one thought could ever happen. So if you do it with Popovich and the Spurs, I don't see why Zion wouldn't do it with the New Orleans. And if you know anything about the Pelicans organization as a whole, this is a franchise that a couple years ago, they were actually, they didn't have an owner. Their owner was the NBA. And then after that, I think their owner is now the owner of the same owner that owns the Saints. So they don't necessarily have the best situation, and it's a unique situation, I'd say, in the NBA in terms of ownerships and, just the fan base and just everything that's going down there. Obviously, they've been a team that has moved around a couple of times. So it's really, I think it's just a weird situation there. If I'm the Pelicans, obviously you do all you can to keep them. But in terms of Zion, truth be told, if he next week said, I don't want to play for New Orleans anymore, honestly, I would not be surprised. BG, how you feel about this? That's a dookie for you, man. It's your boy. Talk to us.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just confused, honestly. So obviously, yeah, he went to Duke. I followed him in high school. I followed him at Duke. And everything I've ever seen of him is just like a super humble dude. He was a really great kid at Duke, really well spoken. So I've heard and I've seen the rumblings that maybe there's an uncle or stepdad or something that's kind of causing issues and demanding things. But that's what I think we need to get to the bottom of it. Is he hurt or does he not want to play anymore?
Right.
Because that's two completely different things. I just sent you guys a video, a recent video he posted on Instagram. He's throwing it off the backboard, catching it between the legs, dunking. So he looks healthy enough. So does he just want out of New Orleans? And if he does, I don't like. Yeah, are they a championship contender? Probably not. But they got some good pieces.
They do.
They got some really good pieces. And when he's the main piece, and you're missing your main piece, I mean, they're still what 10th in their conference right now, I think. So yeah, I think they're 10th, right behind the Lakers.
Yeah, they got a legitimate shot to make playoffs. Yeah.
If they had Zion this year, they could be 7th. They could be 6th. Like you can't go. Where do you want to go? Golden State? Like you can't go to the best team. You know. Yeah, maybe like Zay was saying, or one of you two. You know, New York was his main destination. I really don't see him being all about the money either, because when he was at Duke, if you recall, he blew through his shoe during the North Carolina game. He had more reason than anybody to sit out the remainder of that year, and he ended up coming back and playing when he was the projected number one pick. So he cares about winning and team culture and all of that. So I don't know why. I just feel like there's different stuff coming out, and we don't really have a true understanding of what's really going on. I feel like if he was in one of those bigger markets, the press would be on it more, but we're really not hearing anything. So it's hard to answer. If I had to guess, I would say that his future is not in New Orleans, just because of what I've seen. I really am disappointed as a Duke fan, as a Zion fan, that he really didn't play at all this year. So,
I mean, if the kid is like you said, and I couldn't agree more. Like, we really don't know what's happening. Like, I gotta stress that, fans, no one really knows what happened unless you're in that building day in and day out. Because is he really hurt? I don't know. I'm looking at that video; it doesn't really look like he's that hurt. But again, you know, I've seen guys quote unquote injured where, again, you got to play against the top athletes in the world. So you've been able to throw it off the backboard in a controlled situation. You know where you're going to jump. You know where you're throwing it. You know what you're going to do. It's totally different than you got to, you know, play, read and react against the best players in the world. So I understand that. But in the same breath, like, we don't know the situation. Like, is he hurt? Is he not? Does he actually want to play? Could he come back early? I mean, is this really his timetable? I know his timetable was adjusted a little bit and was pushed back. You know, was that due to him not rehabbing correctly? Was it due to just not healing correctly? I don't know. You know, or is it the, you know, Pelicans are actually being safe and trying to take their time and not rush them back, which also could be a thing. Like, I'm not a believer in rushing players back. So, yeah, I don't know what his future is going to be, but I'm kind of with what you guys are saying. I'm leaning the way of, you know, 2-3 years from now, will he be with the Pelicans? I don't see it. Will he be with a lifelong New Orleans Pelican? No, that would be my answer. No, and it's unfortunate because that group does have a lot of promise, does have a lot of potential, and again, him being the centerpiece. When you a superstar, if you're truly a superstar, then you being the centerpiece, you always have a shot. You always have a chance. That's how it should be. So him as a centerpiece, and the guys they have, even if they add a guy, lose a guy, he should always put them in a position to compete night in and night out and have a chance to make playoffs and have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs, because he's supposed to be that guy.
If I understand this correctly, I believe he's got one more year left with the Pelicans on his contract. He could sign an extension with them, a max extension.
No one ever turns that down. That's the tricky part.
Next year. Which, are they really going to offer that to him? So
I would.
That's another thing to take is the timeline of his contract. You know, because he'll be a restricted free agent in 2023. So do you want to offer a guy like that a max deal?
I do. I'm telling you, that's why I bring up the Joel Embiid situation, because to me, these two situations parallel. Early in their career, injured. You don't really know what you're going to get out of them, but you know when they're on the floor, they're really good, but they weren't really on the floor earlier in their career. But again, how many times are you ever going to get a talent like that, right? I talk about Zion's second year. He averaged 30 points a game last year. Like, not 22, not 23, like not 28. No, he averaged 30 points a game last year.
And that's basically all 2-point in
Exactly.
today's game. That's
Exactly.
tough.
Exactly. He's a matchup nightmare. So if I'm the New Orleans Pelicans, I am offering him that money every day, and I'm offering it twice on Sunday. There's no way I'm not offering that, because I can't have my fans and the NBA people saying, well, you guys didn't even offer Zion Williamson when he was, up for his rookie deal. So you got to offer it. And again, if I'm not mistaken, that rookie max that's offered after the rookie deal is up, I don't think any guy in the history of the NBA, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, I don't think any guy recently has ever said no to that deal. Because you're talking over 150 million, 200 million.
Yeah, I think they said 181 the offers.
Yeah. Come on, man. He's not saying no to that. So if I'm the Pelicans, there's no way I'm gonna take that, the biggest piece on my table, the biggest chip I have, of offering him $181 million to stay, to sign on for the next few years. The guy that I drafted number 1, I'd be an idiot not to offer him that money.
Well, and from their standpoint, I guess, it makes sense what you're saying, because you got to look at it from their standpoint. Who else are they bringing in?
Yeah.
They ain't. This is their best bet to get a superstar. So,
Yep.
You just got to roll the dice.
Roll with it. Zay, anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I think you all are hitting it right on top of the head. So,
Love it, man. Love it. Yeah. Man, shout out to you, Zion, because I really do like his game, man. I really do like what he can do on the floor. I'm hopeful that he can play next season, and he kind of put this behind him.